Hello, survivors. Welcome to the new world. If you want a cubbyhole, here's the right place. Here in the garage, you can learn a lot about the wastes straight from the devs. And also don't forget that we now have the Crossout show here. The best designers and drivers can compete for prizes. Get in, watch, take part. It goes without saying, don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what you see. Our guys like this very much. It's go time. Under the spotlight of your eyes, we roll out a beautiful scientist's build and a newbie craft sent by the viewers. Craft new rides, upload them at the exhibition, and leave its name in the comments. Our mechanics will test it with all rigor and deliver stern but fair verdict. Rapier Aircraft. The hero of last week, a flying devilfish by the scientists. In the garage, the build looks like very homemade. The parts aren't covered with armor, the cabin is exposed, the hover block is in front of the ride, and all of the weaponry. 2 rapiers on the barrel? Only 24 parts? Seriously? We press the test drive button, and here the blissful thrills. The craft immediately flies out of the garage, builds up crazy speed in a matter of seconds. If you don't release the gas button, it'll literally bob up and down on the hills and obstacles. At that moment, the adversaries just might think that this ghostly ride has come to take their souls. Yeah, we've also noticed that the speed and acceleration parameters are squeezed out to the max. But who would have thought it's that impressive? Rapiers are firing almost ceaselessly, which makes the ultimate damage not the highest, but steady. A couple of coolers are doing their great job. Rapier doesn't run dry for a long time, in every sense. Construction defects are still here, though. Generator, cabin, coolers, hovers. All the primary parts are doomed to take on the outright hostile fire, and structure parameters are not that big. This is why we recommend to look at the Rapier as more like a viable concept, a good framework, a creative vector. It definitely lacks armor, and maybe something else? Pros: amazing speed, instant acceleration, effective cooling rapiers. Cons: an alarmingly low level of defense, low structure, parts are easily shut off. 3 out of 5. PTR Munu V1. This ride has been suggested for the test in the comments, and there's nothing we enjoyed better than digging in the buckets. 3,000 points of power put the craft in a certain niche. It's not for the newbies, but not yet ready for serious fights. 1 cord doesn't make much difference, but there's a good support ready in the form of Fatman turret cannon. There are, unfortunately, no additional attachments like generators, coolers, scopes, or radars. The ride is based on the White Huntsman cabin. Don't expect anything special from this ride. Medium wheels guarantee medium speed. Acceleration is low. Don't get on the front line. Damage parameters won't let you be a hero either. The die is a shrewd choice, though. You might not spot the craft from afar on a sandy or rocky map. You won't need many resources to build the ride. All parts, apart from the Fat Man and an optional honk, are white. Hence, this casual ride can be crafted by pretty much anyone. Pros: parts are available for everyone. Effective die. Cons: too simple. Mostly for newbies. 2 out of 5. Survivors, the parts of Crossout have been significantly updated thanks to the new patch. And this is why many are getting ready to rebuild their crafts change the details, and build something completely new. We thought this to be a great moment to refresh the rules of crafting a ride. Today, in the weaponry section, we analyze basic parameters and discover the principles attached to each of them. Experienced fighters, take it easy. This section is mostly for beginners, but you can also get something out of it here. The most important parameter of the craft is power. Judging by the power, the game decides on your future partners and adversaries. If we roughly range this parameter, there are 4 basic niches. Under 3,000 points, from 3,000 to 6,000 points, from 6,000 to 9,000 points, and everything else above. The system is a bit more complex, taking into account FX, the level as well, but we're not going to dig too much into this right now. The first group is the most important for getting used to the fights in the wastes. Don't rush and try to get out of here as fast as possible until you win most of the fights. This stage is critical for understanding the logic of the game and learning. It should be hastened. You will also accumulate enough resources for your craft and for sale, which allows you to perform more successfully after leaving the paddling pool. If it turns out to be too hard, get back. A common mistake in crafting, too thick an accent on the defense. It's important, of course, but not at the cost of damage. You may often see a craft in the wastes which is too heavily armored with white weaponry, fighting a lighter craft with more effective guns. By the logic of the game, they're equal in power points, and this is why they can be fighting with each other. Who wins? Most probably the second one. While the first one barely deals any damage, the opponent has enough time to cut through the defense and destroy the craft. Remember that everything's good in moderation, and always test the craft after the build. Pay special attention to energy, provided by the chosen cabin as default, especially taking into account change parameters. As for all installed parts, in most cases, it's better to choose a zero energy part than its colorful but more demanding counterpart. During the construction stage, always hide explosive parts deeper into the framework, better right in the basis. Remember that frames no longer influence the structure of the ride and give way to 90% of the damage, so pay more attention to the shield plates. The cabin is still of utmost priority. When it's destroyed, the fight is over for you. Think of what armor you choose. Lids and hatches, even though technically considered a part of decor, are balanced in mass and structure while adding some power points. They can be used to the full. Bumpers deal some close-range damage. There's a certain point in unlocking them as fast as possible. After that, you can think of some close-range weaponry. It helps when the long-range guns are shut off the craft and warns the enemy against close contacts. Don't start your journey in the wastes with close-range crafts. It's better to get them with some experience under your belt. More or less experienced fighters craft their rides and provide accurate, not blind fire. They know that disarmed and restrained craft won't stay long on the battlefield. To make life harder for the enemy, increase the number of connections. Let the most important parts hold on to the frame of previous ones. There are several almost sine qua non parts in the wastes. You'd better have at least one active radar in a team for an effective collaborative play, as well as one radio set on every craft. As you might have noticed in the test drive, more advanced crafts often have a scope on board. This is a passive radar and an opportunity not to waste the ammo. You'll almost always need engine, and now they give you different bonuses combined with cabins. A light engine still does not require any energy, and it works with no attachment to the speed. Don't forget about the engines if you want an effective craft. Weaponry has, in one way or another, ammo or heating limits. This is why the damage is greatly influenced by coolers and ammo boxes. They help you worry less about saving your ammo. Newbies often think that the more wheels you have, the higher the speed. This ain't true. Their number influences only the mobility. In this regard, it's better not to overindulge. If the craft turns out to be heavy, you can make double wheels, or add up some for emergency, should the enemy destroy one of the installed. You need to be more careful with hovers as well. But here, the issue is not in the number, but more in the center of gravity. The controllability of a flying craft should be tested twice as thoroughly. Well, that's it for today. If you like this, let us know in the comments, and we'll make another more profound section in the upcoming episodes of the show. Hello again, survivors. Fights are fights, but you need coins in your pocket. Penny saved is a penny earned, and money loves resourceful owners. We don't promise you millions, but know a thing or two on a local market. They're always happy to share the wisdom. So, copper, scraps, wires. This is the holy trinity of the workbench. It's hard to deal without those. Everything is pretty much clear with the first two, but the wires still need some breakdown. Wires are sold in bundles of 10 and 100 pieces. The second option is more practical, so let's look at it. Other resources were analyzed in the similar amounts. As the tradition goes, let's start with the buying graph. Wires cost about a coin higher than scraps and are traded neck and neck with copper. However, they demonstrate enviable price stability. The coarse discrepancy is literally peanuts. Now for buying. Wires are traded in nearly the same prices. Taking into account the commission, this means that in resale, you're gonna lose from 60 to 70 cents. In addition, there's an oversupply. The number of potential buyers is half of that of the number of sellers. This is true for the whole period up to the proportion, both for the big and the small bundles, adjusted for the number of deals. Regarding the results of the first 3 episodes of the exchange, it all adds up to a disappointing conclusion for the easy money lovers. You can't make a fortune on the basic resource resale, and this is quite fair. The materials are popular and nearly every survivor is able to get them. Since the market is regulated by the players, the picture is similar. Even the humblest fighters can afford basic resources, so that based on those, they can craft something cooler. Let's consider that you've mastered the exchange and understand how the trading works. Tune in your sets for the next episode. We've got something intriguing ready. Strive and prosper. Time to check what bothered you most last week. Add the option to compare the parts. We always strive to improve the interface of the game and are only happy to check some new ideas. Describe your idea in more detail in the corresponding forum section. The new refinery map is taken from Ex Machina, am I right? No, refinery is not from Ex Machina, but there are many other references to the game. Can you find them? Dear devs, are there any plans of adding helicopter blades? They would be perfect for the notorious scavengers' rides. No such plans for now, but you can already craft the blades from other parts in stock. Well, that's it for today, survivors. Looking forward to seeing you in a week to spill some more facts about the Waste's battles. Don't waste your time. Gain experience and toughen up in fights. Also, subscribe and do me a favor, will ya? Tell your friends about the show. Leave comments below. It's important for us to know your opinions. Be seeing ya.